Good afternoon and happy Friday. Hope you guys are ready for a fun holiday weekend. I know that our children are very excited about Halloween and all of the festivities, and I am very hopeful that I know we need this rain, and at the same time, I'm hopeful that all of the rain doesn't rain on our festival fun. So, hope you guys have a good, safe holiday Halloween celebration this weekend to come, and the next week to come. Just here giving you guys my weekly analysis as we study the market each week. And honestly, it's holding fairly steady. So there's really not a lot of change week over week. I know I've talked about how our average sales price has really been in the mid 600 range. This past week, I noticed that range dipped just a tiny bit, but we also had a significantly higher number of new construction sales closed this past 7 days, which always skews the average just slightly when you have new construction, because a lot of the new construction is on the outskirts of Austin. So you have a lot of building in Liberty Hill. There's a ton of building in Leander, Georgetown, Round Rock, Buda, Kyle, and that price point for those new construction homes is a little bit lower. And so that always lowers it. But the 5-week average is still around the 630 range, which is kind of in that mid 600 range. That number hasn't changed. The median sales price has been even more consistent week over week throughout the year of 2023, which is right around that like 475 to 485 range. And it varies and bumps up around, but the 5-week average is usually somewhere in that ballpark. So that shows me that prices overall for the Austin market are really just remaining steady. What is just something that I'm paying attention to is just the seasonal trends of the fact that we have fewer people writing contracts to put homes under contract. So we saw fewer houses go under contract over the last 7 days, which was about the same amount that we had the previous 7 days. So in the last 14 days, we had 2 weeks in a row with a low number around 300 for homes sold. And so that's just one thing that we're always tracking, but there still is market activity. And so I would just say, like, overall, nothing major to report. The one thing that we're seeing a big shift in, and I mentioned this, is that leases. You'll be driving around and I'm sure you're going to notice a lot more for lease signs. We've had a lot of clients we've counseled and they've thought instead of selling, maybe they just rent for a little bit longer. We've got one client who they had renters in the home for a couple of years and they're deciding whether or not to rent or to sell it, and just depending on the market conditions and what price we can get and what price we think we can accomplish. So we're just having a lot of those strategy sessions and strategy conversations, and happy to counsel you on that. There's a lot that goes into being a landlord. There's a big upside, but there's also some little bit of grunt work that's involved in that as well. So always happy to counsel you on that process. We are investors and we have rental properties ourselves. So we kind of are in the middle of what that looks like sometimes. And sometimes it's really easy and sometimes it's not. And it just really depends. So that said, that's my weekly report. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will be back at the beginning of November for our next update, and have a great weekend.